right, we're back. We're gonna film today just because it's so nice out. The last time we filmed was a while ago. I want to say it was pushing on 2 weeks now, I bet. So, and Ben's not here today, but Caden's gonna run the camera by himself. We ran into this issue when she was out quartering and casting. I'm trying to think back because it's been a while. And after that, we actually filmed the podcast. I think it was the next day. And I'm actually going to tell Ben, I think I want to use that podcast as an episode. Because we didn't necessarily work with the dog, but the timing of it was real important. Because I had hit this level of frustration and decided we're not just going to try to like force through it differently because it's a series on YouTube. We have to handle it the same way that I would if it were no cameras and no series and no clients and no any of that stuff. It's just, how am I going to get through this little hurdle with the dog? And so we're going to go back. I thought about it. We're going to do things a little bit differently. And part of the reason is because the issue that we're having with Cali, with her getting out, is something I'm not used to either. I don't normally have, it's usually the opposite that I see. It's not usually that we have dogs that don't want to get out. It's usually they want to get out too far. Now that's just occasionally with her. But it's more like on a walk on the road, she'll really take off. But when I was struggling to get this range. And you guys saw that in the last couple episodes. Now, because I need Ben here for this, what I really want to do, and we'll talk about how we're gonna do it. We're gonna shoot some birds over her at heel. We're just gonna actually look at some of the strengths that she has and just cater to them and work with them. And eventually, slowly, instead of going from like what she was doing to what we want to be doing, it's too big of a step. There's just too many different things. We're trying to shoot birds, we're trying to do flyers. She's not, got to remember, she hasn't had live birds shot over her. She's had dummy launchers prior to this. So we're gonna shoot the gun, which we did already. That's one step in it. We're gonna shoot flyers, that's one step in it. We're gonna do pigeons, that's one step in it. We're gonna do some pheasants, that's one step in it. We tried to do it all set up the way I wanted to do it, which was at a distance and quarter the dog and it's just too much. So it proved to be, it didn't work. So do something different. And so now I'm gonna have Ben walk right with me and we're gonna shoot flyers, and then we don't run into the risk of the bird flying low and getting the dog in the way and all that. So I've had a lot of time to think about it. Now, what we didn't plan on was sub-zero temperatures for 2 straight weeks. We literally have not, this is the second day it's gotten above 0. Yesterday it got above 0 and it felt like really nice. So today it's still in the teens, but it feels real nice. So we are gonna, so Caden said, hey, do you want to film? It's really nice out. I said, yeah, let's do it. So today what we're gonna do is, again, stepping towards it. We've done some cold game. You guys have seen us make some cold game picks with her. This is one of the birds that we used. It's the old headless rooster. I'm gonna use him today. I'm going to use a hen today with a head and wings. I got my duck tennis balls. We're going to do a little hunting in the snow. The reason is we haven't filmed much, but I've been out just a little bit with her and the other dogs, because it's just too cold. It's just too much to keep them in the house for 2 straight weeks. They're going a little crazy, and so was I. So I've had her out. I have noticed that she struggles a bit in the snow, and this was some group work stuff. She needs some more group work. That's something that we're going to start. I made a checklist of things that I want to do. She needs to have some group work because she has a hard time focusing. It goes back to one of her little bit of a weakness that we picked up was her steadiness. She has a tendency to want to creep a bit, break a bit in tempting situations. She's tempted when there's other dogs that are sent and she's got to watch. So we need to do a little more group work with her. But today we're going to start out, and here's what we're going to work towards. This is those taking the big step and shrinking it down into a bunch of smaller steps. She's going to see live birds, and Caden will show. We've got pheasants there. We're going to be shooting those pheasants. We're going to be shooting some of those pigeons over her. So she is going to need to see birds, and she's going to eventually have this prey drive to flush, and we're going to shoot and retrieve. But I also need to at the same time keep in mind that we need to have the level of control with her that we can hit her with a whistle to stop her when there's a flush. We need to have the level of control that if a hen goes up and we're not shooting hens because we're hunting in the Dakotas or wherever we're hunting, we can't shoot hens. I don't want her seeing a hen fly off and just chasing it to the horizon. No, leave that, come back, quarter and work. So today, it's a controlled step of it. There's birds right there. She's nowhere near as drawn to those birds because she doesn't have a ton of that connection yet to the idea of I should go chase these things. It goes back to she's very, very steady. She's steady from a foundation standpoint, not steady from like a temptation standpoint. She's not going to break to chase the birds, but we're going to make a retrieve on a pheasant, cold game, next to the live birds. So her job here is not go fool around with those live birds. Her job is pick the dead one. So heel. We're going to heel her off and set this up. Now, the snow obviously becomes another part of the elements. Heel. We talked about earlier on, we were working here in those bean fields. The beans weren't real thick, but they're head high for her. So it's kind of like sending her through a little forest of beans. That's friction. That's stuff that will hold the dog and draw on the dog when they're pushing through. So I call it cover. This is cover. This is physically a lot harder to, when we first started filming, I'm sure you could see it and you'll probably hear it. Boy, he's out of shape. I am, I'll admit it. It's hard to walk in this stuff. So it's just physically more of a challenge. It's just like, athletes run in the water and it's hard. It creates a lot of resistance, becomes very difficult. So we're gonna set up a simple memory, I don't know, 60 yards, 70 yards. And we're gonna send her, she's gonna run past the birds. Now, wind is going that way. You can see wind is at her back. You gotta remember, we threw that bird in the snow and the snow is this deep. She won't see it. She's gonna have to hunt, which is part of the reason why I'm using birds and these scented tennis balls today, because I really want to start picking on her nose a bit. I saw that in the last 2 weeks when I would take her out. Unfeathered dummy, she struggled with in the snow. And so I need her to hold the area and hunt a little bit harder with her nose, not rely so much on visually being able to pick it out every time. Watch. Cali, go back. See the head swivel already? So she's a little uncertain. There, she touched scent. Good girl. And you can see she's just not seeing it. You could see she touched scent right there, but wasn't enough to anchor her. And this is where I've seen a bit of a struggle with her. And I've seen her get, good girl. Lost. I've seen her give up a bit and come back without a dummy when she just couldn't find it. So there's a couple times there where I see her where she looked like she touched scent. Like that she's sticking with it. Lost. Good, lost. Good girl. There she looked for a little help. Lost. Good girl. That was a good dog. I swear she would have been on it right there. Lost. Now, did she blink on that dummy or on that bird? Lost. Good. Lost. Come on, lost. Good girl. Good girl. There's a good dog. Find it. There's a good dog. Good girl. Come on. Come on. Find it. Find it. Now is she blinking on it? She had to have smelled it there. Had to have, based on her body language. You can see, look how uncertain she is right now. You moving up with me here? She's real uncertain. You can just see it in her ears right now. Now, so I'm gonna go with, boy, cold game. We've only done cold game a few times. I'm surprised she never hesitated on cold game before. Sit. So it is surprising to me that she's got a little reluctancy to pick it up. Good. But you can just see it in her body language. She's sad right now. She recognizes I didn't do something right. It's okay. We're gonna help you. We're gonna help you. Cali, go back. Right about there. Lost. Lost. Good girl. Lost. Lost. Good girl. Good girl. Good dog. It's got to be right there. Lost. 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 Go on. Lost. Let's go. Let's go. Lost. 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 Good girl. There. Good dog. Where is it? There it is. Good dog. There it is. That's a good girl. Come on. Oh, that's a good girl. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. That's a good dog. Come on. Come on, Cali. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Good girl. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Oh, that's okay. That's okay. You got to have the guts to pick it up. So here it is, this uncertainty. What is this? So let's get over it. What is that? What is that? What is that? Cali. Good girl. Come on. That's a good girl. Come on. Come on. Good girl. What is that? Come on. Come on. Good girl. Bring it here. 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 Come on. Here. Good girl. Come on. Good girl. Very good. Hold. Good girl. Hold. That's good. Good girl. Hold. Good. So we're going to put it right back in her mouth the way we want her to hold it. Good. There's a good girl. Good. 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 So, again, haven't done something for a while. Here. Here. Heel. 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 Come on. Come on. Haven't done something for a while. Heel. You can come with us, Caden. Probably, you know, we went a little big. She smelled it. She smelled it, wasn't sure, clearly wasn't sure. Couldn't get her to pick it up when we were right next to her. Here, heel, heel. Watch. 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 Cali, Cali, go back. Good. Good. There's a good girl. Come on. That's a good dog. There, very good. There's a good dog. Good girl. Good girl. That's a good dog. Did. So the drill is really not new. I mean, trailing memories are nothing new to her. It's what's at the end that's going to make a big difference. She just doesn't have a lot of exposure to birds. She hasn't had any exposure to birds. It's part of why those birds don't interest her that much. They're not acting as that much of a distraction to her because she goes, I'm okay with that. Good, heel, heel. So we're gonna inch our way back to what we wanted to do here the first time. We just took too big of a bite, and I'm guilty of that with her, with a few things, because I'm recognizing some of her quirks. I'm recognizing some of her little weaknesses. There's not a lot of them, and they're not huge. But I can't just go do everything I want to do with her. Well, guess what? That's why she's here. Good. Watch. 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 Ah, da, 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 da. Come on. Watch. Cali, go back. Good girl. Very nice. Come on. Come on. Come on. That was a good dog. Come on. Good girl. Come on. Come on. There's a good girl. So we're stretching it out, getting a little more distance by backing up when she's coming back. It's just an easy way for us to get a longer retrieve out of it. Good dog. I'll take that, Did. Good dog. Thank you. Thank you. Now, she's picked it 3-4 heel. She's picked it 3-4 times down there. Let's reverse it. And let's learn from our first time of a mistake where we made it too big. We made it too long. Well, a challenge for her the first time was a little bit of the idea of what this thing looked like, because she couldn't see it. In this snow, there was zero visual. It was all nose. Then when she did smell it, she wasn't sure what the hell to do with it. So we're going to learn from that. So this time, I want to reverse it. This is, you know, most of the time we'd have walked all the way down to here before we sent her. I'm glad we didn't. We cut it in half, and I cut it in half for not really thinking I needed to. But instead of cutting it in half of what I thought I should have done, I should have took 1/10 of it. I should have went 10 yards, sent her, helped her through that struggle that she first had. I could have got her, I could have maybe encouraged her to pick it up. Maybe not. Maybe she doesn't pick it up. So then instead of having to walk 60 yards, I walk 10 yards. I pick it up, I throw it. I tease her a little bit, get her picking it up again. Come on. Good. A little bit of a help with that tail feather that's sticking up. Watch. Ah, da, 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 da. That is not going to be how we go. Watch. Heel. Good. We'll take 4 or 5 steps back. Good. Good. Watch. Cali. Good. Now she's got to blow through the snow. There's a good girl. That's a good dog. Dig it out. There's a good girl. Good girl. Come on. Come on. There's a good dog. That's what we wanted her to do the first time, but we took too big of a step. There's a good dog. And look how happy she is right now. There. Now I see the smile on her face. Good girl. You can read her whole body language. Good. Did. You can read everything changing about her. Her tail, her face, her wiggle, her all that stuff. Sit. All that changed that time coming back versus the last time when she stood back there. And when she started to come back last time, as she's coming back to me, she came back because she quit. She quit on the bird. She came back and I stopped her. I said, look at her body, look at her face. Her whole demeanor just shrunk. She went, Christ, I know I didn't do it right here. Good. Good. So she watches that remote. Just a little bit different than how we did it last time. Again, it's going to be in fresh powder snow. It's going to have to hunt that area. Going to have to use the nose to find it. But the confidence about what to do with it when I find it, we solved that. We answered that question. That question came up back there and she didn't know the answer. Watch. Heel. Good. There's a good dog. Everything about her right now, she's got a little skip in her step. She goes, I get it. Now I know what you want. So now we stretch it out a little. So now we're about the same distance that we were the first time, that we weren't successful. Now we were going back the other side. She's only picked one up this side. This one's in kind of undisturbed snow. It's not like it's a visual thing. So you're gonna have to hunt it out. Putting a little bit of time in here. Me jabbering a little bit. All this stuff adds difficulty to it. Good. But it also builds patience with her. Sends on her name that time, beautifully. I've got a lot of confidence in her right now, so I'm gonna start backing up already. Loss. Here's where she's gonna have to hunt. Oh, good girl. There's a good dog. Come on. Good dog. Come on. Come on. Good dog. Good girl. That's a good dog. Come on. So this whole session, we're gonna do one more, and that'll be it. Very good. Very good. Look at her smile. Good girl. That's a good girl. Yes. Yes. Did. Good. This whole session starts out, and we're not going to go real long because it is cold. I mean, it's getting cold. How are your hands doing? Oh, you got gloves on now, but I didn't think you had gloves on before. Now, we're not going to go real long for multiple reasons. The elements are part of it. But the other reason is I feel watch, heel. Nice little look there from her down. I feel like we started out, came out here with a little plan of let's set up some memory. I was going to set up memories. I was going to set up circle memories. I was just going to do some real simple, relatively simple stuff, just to get some energy burned, just to build some confidence back up with her and I, and feel good about ourselves. And we come out and we start out with the simplest thing, and she struggled with it. And the whole thing of that was, let's run her past some live pheasants. Let's have her pick cold game. Let's have her have to hunt with her nose. We broke that down into 3 or 4 steps to get to the point where we're going to hopefully finish it with exactly what we wanted to do. But we couldn't start there, but we will finish there. And the reason we're going to finish there is because we're going to take those 4, 5, 6 things that we had to do to make adjustments to get there. And again, I can't say it enough about her, is none of these drills are possible without good foundation. Have you seen me bitch at her about heel work? Have you seen me bitch at her about running off? Have you seen any type of issue from a control standpoint? Not at all, man. She's right there. So the important part of this is, without a good foundation, you can't do these drills. It's not that she couldn't hunt this stuff up. She certainly could. Here. Just walk her past a deadfall. That's right where a bird was. That's right where a bird was. So now she's got to run past some spots where she found birds before. That's a challenge. Watch. Cali, go back. See her swing her head? She's still not 100% confident on, I gotta go there. Good girl. Very good. Now, that's what I wanted to do the first repetition. We'd have been in a world of hurt if we tried that. We were in a world of hurt with half the distance. But, so what? So figure out why. So start to break it down, make it a little easier. Today's session, good girl. That's a good dog. She's got a little loose hold on it, so we're going to fix that right away. Hold, there, much better. Today's session is a little mini version of the bigger issue that we were having with getting her to quarter and flush and shoot and all that stuff. We tried to do too much too quick. Today we tried to do too much too quick. Even on this little mini scale, too much too quick will bite you. So break it down. And this is something so simple we can break it down in one session. The idea of what we were struggling with, what we were struggling with her range, flushing, shooting, picking live birds, that's not something you just fix in one session, because after thinking about it, my setup was so off There were too many missing parts, too many blanks, too many holes, too many, whatever you want to, however you want. I described so many ways of when things don't go wrong. You're trying to run through a brick wall, you've got holes, you're missing parts to the track. So build all that stuff in. And that's what we'll have to do. And that's what we're going to do. And we're not going to do it when it's like not ideal conditions. Because now you're just trying to make all that stuff happen in a much harder situation, a much harder environment. I'd prefer to have it be an easier environment to take on challenges that we're facing, rather than put them into harder spots, harder setups, harder situations. I'm just more than happy with what we just did today. We did a little mini version of what we're going to do in the bigger picture of try something, doesn't work, make an adjustment, make an adjustment, make an adjustment. By the end, you get there. So I think it can be a good example of that's how we're going to take everything on, just about going forward. So good girl. And that also is enough exercise for her that she goes, finally, I got to stretch out a little bit. I got to get some fresh air. I got to run. This was hard to run through. It's hard for I'm just not in very good shape, but I can't walk through it very well. She can't run through it that well. It's a good session. We'll build off of this.